Hi everyone, welcome to Eden by Kemi podcast. This is episode 12. My name is Kemi, actually it is Oluwakemi. Today's episode is based on the story of the rich man and Lazarus in Luke chapter 16. And the bottom line is this: wealth is stewardship. If you're ever going to have a chance at real wealth, you must know, understand, and practice stewardship, especially in the little things. And I'm not just talking about money, it is about relationship, your health, your mind, your time, your body, the opportunities that come to you, the access that you have, and even your influence. These are things that God has placed in your hands. Now, before we go into the story, let me explain what stewardship means. Stewardship is the careful, responsible, and ethical management of resources entrusted to your care. It is how you manage what has been made available to you. A steward is someone who manages resources that did not originally belong to them. So in simple terms, stewardship is management. Now this leads me to the story of Lazarus and the rich man in Luke chapter 16. But let us set the context first. Because just before Jesus tells the story, he had just shared the story of another rich man and his fraudulent business manager. And his conclusion was that if you're faithful in managing whatever little you have been given or entrusted with, you'll be given more responsibility. In verse 11 of chapter 16, he says, "If you have not been faithful in the use of earthly wealth, who will entrust true riches to you?" So with that principle in mind, Jesus tells the story of the rich man and Lazarus. And I will just do a quick summary for anyone hearing the story for the first time. There was a very rich man. Very rich. He was so wealthy that he would usually dress in expensive clothing. He celebrated and lived in joyful splendor every day, every single day. Just imagine the people around him that would have enabled that kind of lifestyle. Maybe because they also benefited from it. I can imagine he did not wear the same clothes often. So he had people making his clothes, cooking his meals, serving him, entertaining him daily. He was surrounded by people who ensured that his lifestyle was maintained because he could afford it. But there was one small irritating problem: Lazarus. Lazarus was poor. He was sick. He had blisters all over his body, and the neighborhood dogs would come and lick the blisters on his body. Yeah, you get the picture. This poor sick man was placed at the entrance of the rich man's house. His daily goal in life was to eat from the crumbs that fell from the rich man's table. So you can tell that the rich man's wealth did not extend to Lazarus, even though Lazarus was right there at the entrance of his gate every single day. Do you see the gap? A very rich man living in opulence, and then one man, just one man, very poor, very sick, in need of food. Lazarus just wanted food, not shelter, not money to get medication for the blisters on his body, just food. And the only thing he could hope for was crumbs that fell from the rich man's dining table. But the story does not end there, because soon Lazarus dies. Of course, there's no food with a sick body, no one caring for him. Thereafter, the rich man also dies. Now the scene changes to a new location. Lazarus is in a place called Abraham's bosom. Let's call it Abraham's Bosom Boulevard. And obviously, he's no longer sick. He's no longer poor. And the rich man is in a place called Hades. I do not recommend. He's obviously in pain, unimaginable torment. For one, he's extremely thirsty. The rich man looks up and sees Lazarus, and he calls for help. He requested Father Abraham to send Lazarus to dip the tip of his finger in water and cool his tongue, because he was in severe agony in the flame. Like I said, I do not recommend Hades. I'm not going to share the entire story. Go and read it. It's in Luke chapter 16. Read the entire chapter. But let's go into my thoughts. You might assume that the reason the rich man ended up in Hades was because he was rich, and that Lazarus ended up in Abraham's bosom because he was poor. Nah. And I know many people that have used this story to justify poverty. It becomes almost like being rich on the earth is a sign that you might end up in Hades. I do not think that is true, because Jesus had wealthy friends. In fact, he was a wealthy man that helped secure his body after he was crucified. We talk about the empty tomb, but that tomb was provided by a rich man. So I do not think wealth is the problem. I think the issue is the management or mismanagement of wealth, the failure to steward it properly. Remember the context of the story. If you're unfaithful in the little things, do not expect to be entrusted with true riches. And I know the rich man's wealth looks like it's a lot. It looks over the top. But is it possible that Lazarus was the test of that wealth? Is it possible that Lazarus was placed at his gate every day as an opportunity? What will you do with what you have? The rich man had other people around him that he probably took care of, people he celebrated with, people who enjoyed his daily feasting, who benefited from his lifestyle. But in the middle of all that, there was a Lazarus. Who is the person God has placed at your gate? It is easy to say, why should I be responsible for Lazarus? Can't he go and work? Can't he pull himself up? Why is this my problem? But I want you to pay attention to the picture. A rich man feasting every day, and a poor man at his gate, hoping for crumbs. That was all. Lazarus was placed at the gate every day. The rich man saw him. At least he had the opportunity to see him. Stewardship is not only about what you have. It is also about what you notice. You are a steward. You do not own the resources. Everything you have, everything you are, everything you will have, everything you will become, it is because God gave it to you. Yes, you are brilliant, you're skillful, you are disciplined, you are hardworking. All of those things are resources. Did you put in the work to harness the skill? Yes. Did you work hard to bring out and polish the gift? Yes. But even the ability to do that is a gift on its own. This reminds me of the parable of another rich man whose land was very fertile and productive. You would find a story in Luke chapter 12 from verse 16. The man was rich because the land was fertile and productive. Now, did he have to work the land? Yes, he had to plant, he had to water, he had to harvest, he worked hard. But all of that hard work paid off because the land was fertile and productive. Imagine if his neighbor's land was the opposite. Imagine both of them worked hard. One land would produce plenty and the other land would not. The rich man might assume he was more hardworking, and more brilliant. Or maybe not acknowledging that one of the reasons his hard work paid off was because of something he did not create. Fertile land. Something he did not manufacture. Something he received. And that is what stewardship is about. If you think everything you have is only because of you, you will manage it like an owner. But if you understand that everything you have came from God, you will manage it like a steward. And honestly, it is the most liberating feeling. Letting go of the thought of ownership. Understanding that everything you have is a resource that has been given to you to manage. It makes you more aware of the things around you. You begin to see needs that other people may not see. Your heart starts pulling you. You cannot easily shake it off because Lazarus is at the gate. Now, Lazarus died, and it almost feels like once Lazarus was no longer in the picture, the rich man's story also came to an end. Do not let your Lazarus die of hunger or in need within your ability. And when you understand stewardship, you start asking God questions. Lord, what would you have me do with this resource? What would you have me do with this money, this skill, this relationship, this platform, this opportunity, this home, this season? What do you want me to do with it? And that is where purpose starts to show up. You find purpose in wealth. You find purpose in the resource. You find purpose in your living. Because it's no longer just about having. It is about managing well, serving well. It is about paying attention. It is about understanding that God placed something at your gate and is asking you, what will you do with what I gave you? And the more you steward with a good heart, because you cannot deceive God, the more He can make available to you. So instead of saying, Lord, test me with $1 million, what about the $100 you already gave you? What about the little time, the little influence, the strength, the opportunity? Be a faithful steward. Start there. The increase will come. The overflow will come. But let it meet you transformed. Let it meet you loving. Let it meet you surrendered. Let it meet you aware. Let it meet you with a heart that can recognize Lazarus at the gate. Because wealth is stewardship, and true wealth requires a transformed heart. So never forget that God has redeemed you, called you by name, and declared that you belong to Him. Thank you for listening to episode 12, and I will see you in the next one.